Before we start building the onboarding app, let's take a minute to look at the project structure. I've already set up a few folders in the Utilities panel. Inside of the Utilities folder, you will see a Fonts folder containing the custom fonts we will use for this project. The Font Plus extension and the custom font files gives us an easier way to use custom fonts. If you're interested in this setup, please check out my custom fonts tutorial. The palette plus color file is a helper file used with the theme asset folder. The length formatter plus extension file is a helper class we will use later in the tutorial. The views folder has a supporting views folder, which we will use for any new files we create in this project. The onboarding view model is where we will store some global variables and functions. Inside content view, we will use this file as our app's entry point. Inside of the assets folder are the graphics we will use in the project. All of the assets in this folder are PDFs, which will allow us to scale them however we need without losing quality. The theme asset folder is where I store all of the colors we will be using throughout this project. Now that we got all of the boring stuff out of the way, let's look at the design. Our design has 3 main screens that we navigate through. Before we work on any main screens, we will start by creating our navigation. We will use a tab view in which we can add custom buttons to navigate between pages. The navigation buttons are similar, so let's create a navigation button that we can use for both next and previous. Select the supporting views folder and hit Command-N. Now click on the SwiftUI view under User Interface and hit Next. We're going to name this file Custom Navigation Button and hit Create. Since we want to reuse this button, let's create an enum that we can use to set the button type. After import, add a couple of lines and type the following: enum custom button type :string case next equals next. Case previous equals previous. We are done with the enum. Next, let's work on our custom button. We need to add a couple of variables before creating the button. Above the body variable, add the following: var type, custom button type, var action, parenthesis, dash, greater than, void. We can now pass in a type for our button. We also created an action for our button, allowing us to set an action for each button created. Currently, our preview is complaining. Let's fix that now by updating the parameter to take a type along with an action. Since we have 2 different buttons, let's create each button to show each button type, in this case, next and previous. Let's take a look at the design. Our previous button has an outline with a white fill in the design. Our next button has a purple fill. Let's go back to Xcode and update our preview to display 2 buttons, one for the next and one for the previous. We need to add our custom button into an H stack. Command-click on Custom Navigation Button and select Embed in H stack. Now, let's add another custom navigation button, but this time we will set the type to Next. Finally, let's create our button. Inside of the body variable, remove the text view and replace it with button, parenthesis, action, curly brace, action, parenthesis. Now let's add another curly brace and hit return. Next, let's add a Z stack inside of the last set of curly braces we just added. And inside of the Z stack, we will add our text. Since we created our button type to be a string type, we can use each type's value inside of the text view. So inside of the text view's parentheses, add type.raw value. Now let's add a few modifiers to our button. Let's add a font and set it to custom. We will make this custom font bold and we'll set the size to 18. Next, let's add some vertical padding and set it to 15. Now let's add some horizontal padding and set it to 20. We're going to add a foreground color next. We can use a ternary condition operator inside of modifiers. Let's set foreground color to type == dot previous question mark dot base purple colon dot white. So basically what we're saying here is if the type is equal to previous, we want to set it to base purple. And if it's not, we want to set it to white. Finally, let's add a background and set it to type == dot previous question mark color dot white colon color dot base purple. So we're adding another ternary operator here, and it says if type is equal to previous, then the background color is white, and if it's not, it's base purple. By default, all buttons are given a blue tint, and in order to remove that, we must change the button style. Let's add a button style modifier to the button and set it to plain. Now, add the corner radius modifier and set it to 11. Finally, add the overlay modifier and set it to rounded rectangle with a corner radius of 15. Then add a stroke modifier and set it to color.base purple with a line width of 1. We can add an opacity and set it to type == dot previous question mark 1 colon 0. So now here we're saying if the type is equal to previous, then we're going to set the stroke opacity to 1. And if it's false, we will set the stroke opacity to 0. Our custom button is complete. Let's look at the design and see what we can work on next. We will use the tab view for our onboarding view, but instead of using the page view dots it comes with, we will make them ourselves. We can have a custom look for our page view by doing the dots ourselves. Let's create a new file by hitting Command N and selecting the SwiftUI file under User Interface. Now, let's name this file .view and hit Create. Our .view needs two properties. Let's add the first. Let index : int. Next, we need a binding variable named current page, which will be used to track whether or not the dot is selected. Let's add @binding var current page : int. When we use binding, this means the current page will pass in the variable from the parent, and anytime this variable changes, all instances of it are notified of the change. When the current page value changes, every instance of the .view will know. Next, let's update our .view inside of the previews with the index and the constant variable for the current page. It would be nice to see the selected value state and what the .view will look like when it's not selected. Let's command click on .view inside of the preview and select group. Now in previews, let's add another .view underneath the current one and set the index to 1 and the current page to .constant 0. Before we jump into the body, we will create a helper function. Let's do func check current page parentheses dash greater than color. Then let's set if index == current page. Now type return .black. Now let's go outside of the if statement and type .black .opacity parenthesis 0.20. In this function, we're checking to see if the current page is equal to the index. And if it is, we'll return black. And if it's not, then we will return black with the opacity of 0.20. Inside of the body, delete the text view and add a circle with a fill modifier. And inside of the fill modifier, we're going to say check current page. Now let's add a frame modifier and set the width to 8 and the height to 8. We are done with dot view. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel.